Hi, it's Scola and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different, but don't worry, tomorrow will be the back to normal with a whole Motivation Monday topic, which will be about lower belly fat. But today I really want to talk about this, and I wasn't planning on doing any videos about this, but I just felt like I had to. It just didn't feel right for me not to personally. But I would say do not get angry at people with platforms for not talking about this issue, because sometimes you just don't know what to say and you don't know what you could add to the conversation. And that's definitely how I felt last week. I didn't know what I could say. I was retweeting a lot of stuff because I felt like other people could say it better than me or could add more to the conversation. So that's what I was doing. Over the weekend, I finally felt like I really wanted to say something about it because I realized I do have a platform and I wanted to use that for something really positive. I was really shocked by the response actually, and the one response I was most shocked about was the All Lives Matter movement, and I just felt like I wanted to talk about this. And I'm worried because I know this is controversial and I don't really like talking about politics or stuff like that quite often, unless I really feel like it's needed, which is why I'm talking about it today. So basically, after I posted my Black Lives Matters post, there were loads of positive comments, but somebody posted a comment saying all lives matter, and then they had emojis of a girl ranging from really light to really dark, and I didn't really respond to any of it. I just left it. I was like, oh my goodness, Scola, don't say anything, just leave it. And so somebody else dragged her and explained the whole Black Lives Matter movement, and she genuinely apologized because she genuinely didn't know. Like, she genuinely just didn't understand what was going on, if that made sense. And I was like, wow, like, she's apologized and she now understands. Like, that's somebody that now can add positive discussion to this whole situation, because before she genuinely didn't know. So that's why I wanted to make a video about this, so that people who genuinely don't understand what's going on can kind of get to understand why everyone is kicking up such a big fuss about it, and why even people in the UK are kicking up such a big fuss about it. So the All Lives Matter thing is just a bit silly, because you have to understand the Black Lives Matter movement isn't saying that any other lives matter any less. It isn't saying that any other race isn't going through struggle. That's not what we're trying to say. We're trying to say that there is a clear issue here. We have to address it. We have to do something about it. Like, this is a movement. This is something we have to talk about. But it does not mean that any other lives matter less, or any other race is not going through any troubles or struggles. But right now, Black people are getting shot for no reason, no other reason than being Black. Do you know how scary and frightening it must be, especially for people in America, to not be able to even walk around without even knowing whether they're going to get shot that day, whether if they get stopped for something small that they'll end up getting shot, because that's what's happening. Innocent people getting shot for not doing anything, basically. And that is something that is frightening, and that is something that is scary. And you have to understand that the same thing will not happen to a white person. A white person will not randomly get stopped and then get shot for doing nothing. It's not happening. It is happening to Black people, and it's happening on a large scale, and that is scary. And that is why we're starting a conversation about it, because if you let it get out of hand, we're going backwards, and that's what you need to understand. And it's like, it's the same as when hashtags start for when some tragedy happens somewhere. If we say pray for Syria, it doesn't mean we're saying don't pray for Russia or something like that, like random two countries I should not have put together, but you get what I mean. It doesn't say don't pray for the other country, just pray for this one. It's not to say that any other country isn't going through something difficult and strugglesome. It's just saying that right now something really bad is happening in this country, something really bad happened in this country, and we want to show our support for that country because they've just gone through something really traumatic. Like, if we say pray for Paris, it doesn't mean that we're not saying pray for Nigeria. It just means right now we're saying pray for Paris because something bad happened there, and that's why we're saying that. It doesn't take away from anything else. It's not favoritism. It's not anything like that. It's not trying to say that this is the best country in the world that you have to pray for. Do you get what I mean? So to any other race that feels like Black Lives Matter is somehow trying to say that Black people are better, or Black power, or that we're only saying that there are only Black issues. We're not trying to say that. We're saying right now there's a real issue and we need to do something about it. And I hope that makes sense, and I hope you guys understand that this is a conversation we're having because something really scary is happening and we need to talk about it. And I know it seems weird, everybody tweeting about it, everybody talking about it. People are wondering, what will protests in London do about something that's going on in America? But it will raise awareness. Like, you need to kick up a fuss about these things, because today is people getting shot and stopped, and just black men getting shot and stopped and stuff like that. But tomorrow it will literally be just people walking down the street just shooting black people. Like, this is the reality. Like, this is what used to happen back in the day. Like, black people just getting killed for being black out in the open. And that is where it's going. Like, you have to understand. And America is a big country, and it's meant to be a leader. Like, it's meant to be a country that most countries look to. It's where we get most of our media from, our TV shows, our movies, everything. That's where we get most of our stuff from. Even my accent. Why do I sound slightly American? People always ask me. It's because I'm from Zimbabwe, and the English that we tend to learn is with an American accent rather than a British one. So even though I've lived here all my life, that's still stuck. And do you realize how much influence America has? That I'm a girl, I would consider myself a Zimbabwean British girl, but I have this American twang because of American media and what it did when I was learning English, if that makes sense. So that much influence, it's like it's only a matter of time before issues that are going on in America start to seep into the UK, and that's why we need to kick up a fuss here too, because you never know what could happen in the UK. I mean, you saw what happened with Brexit. Like, as much as you might say Brexit was like for other reasons and people are trying to cover up and saying there's all this other stuff, a large amount of people that voted to leave, it was due to an immigration problem. And do you know how scary it is when white people are turning against other white people? Like, that immigration issue was literally about other white people from Europe coming into UK. Like, that was the problem. And so you have to be a little bit frightened when you live in a world where even white people are discriminating against other white people just because they were born a little bit further away from them. That is frightening, that is scary, and that is the reality of the world we're living in today. And it's deep, it's getting that deep, and we need to talk about all of these issues. We need to talk about Brexit, we need to talk about the possibility of Donald Trump becoming president. You have to talk about Black Lives Matter, because if we don't talk about it, we let it slide, then things will just happen. That was my video for today, and I just wanted to talk about it, and it felt wrong for me to not talk about it because I am a black woman and I go through black woman struggles every single day of my life. Racism is still very much alive. If you think it's gone, then you need to like check yourself a little bit, because trust me, it is not dead. Growing up, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't until I got into the working world, I think, the real world, that I realized that racism was still alive. Growing up, I dealt with racism at school, but it was like stupid kids, and it was always like in a disagreement. So say, for example, one time I wanted to use a colouring pencil, another kid wanted to use a colouring pencil, we started fighting over the colouring pencil, and then they threw out a racist remark, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm telling on you because you took it too far. Like, I hadn't even said anything mean, we're just having a disagreement. That's the kind of racism I experienced growing up, that kind of thing. It was never deep, it was never serious, it was just kids finding what they knew would hurt me and they said it. So that was the kind of racism I dealt with. So when my parents talked about racism, I was like, guys, you need to chill, it's gone, there's no such thing as racism anymore, everybody loves each other, it's cool. And that's coming from a girl who grew up in an all-white village. I grew up all-white village, all-white friends, all white everything. Everywhere I looked, everything was white, okay? And so I was under the impression, because I just felt like I fit in so well, everyone was so nice to me, you know, old people will wave at me in the street. I mean, occasionally they'd cross the road, but that's another story. I just thought everything was fine, but obviously my parents were out there in the real world, they saw what was really going on. And as I've gotten older, I've started noticing little things that make it so difficult to be a black woman in 2016. Like, people are constantly telling me what to do with my hair, what to do with my hair, what not to do with my hair. People are telling me what my body should look like. They're telling me, yeah, you should have a big butt, you're black, that's what it is to be black, you're just a big butt. Basically, people are telling me I'm not black enough because I don't act a certain way, I don't behave a certain way, I don't say certain things. Are you serious? I don't get as many jobs as the next white girl on YouTube because I'm black, and and apparently I don't sell as much as another white girl, and that is a reality, and that is controversial to say on YouTube. People don't really say that very often, but it's the truth. Those are even issues here on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I had so much more to say, but I just don't want to make this a super long video. I feel like I said what I needed to say, and I hope you guys felt like you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want me to do more of these videos, do let me know. Of course, I have to say this channel will remain a channel where you can come to escape all of the bad stuff going on in the world. I will not fill it up with too much of this stuff, because I am very aware that at the end of the day, I'm here to help you guys and I'm here to entertain you guys. And sometimes when we talk too much about these issues, it can get a little bit upsetting because you want to have that escape still. So don't think that I'm going to fill up my whole channel. That there'll still be fun stuff, but definitely if you want to see more of these kind of videos talking about these kind of issues, do let me know. Okay, yeah, anyway, I hope you guys can start a really good discussion in the comments down below, and we can start talking about this, and it'll be awesome. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay luscious, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!